Do you notice that prices of goods and services keep going up rapidly? The market is not doing great at the moment. The US economy is currently experiencing significant changes in the market. Inflation is presently on the rise and not backing down. The Fed, also known as the Federal Reserve System, needs to take action on this. It must provide the country with a safer, more flexible, and more stable monetary and financial system. They were tasked to keep inflation at 2%. Although, according to the charts, the inflation levels are 4 times higher than that. Over 3 months, inflation is between 8 to 9%. Inflation is no good for the people. When inflation happens, prices of goods and services go up, thus decreasing the buying power of consumers. But we need to cut them some slack. Keeping inflation and the economy hand in hand is not easy. Controlling inflation while growing the economy is not an easy task. The only way we can decrease inflation is by increasing interest rates. However, in return, the economy will not grow that much. It is like trying to inflate a tire that has a hole, and that looks impossible, right? The thing that will happen is if inflation is not controlled and the economy does not grow, it will result in stagflation. A stagnant economy or the economy is not increasing while inflation is on the rise. This will only mean that prices of goods and services keep increasing. On the contrary, Americans' lives and income keep degrading. Of course, it will also affect the stock market. During the 1970s, the country experienced stagflation during the US oil crisis. It resulted in the stock market falling by 50 to 60%. So is it a good time to invest now? Is stagflation imminent? Pennywise, the channel focuses on exploring wealth and increasing savings through life-changing practices about personal finance, money earning and management tips, avoiding hoaxes, and so much more. Our goal is to equip you with a penny-wise mindset through your journey to fund and help you experience the life you desire. So please join us on this exciting adventure by clicking the subscribe button below. So why is this happening to the economy? You probably noticed goods and services increasing dramatically, especially oil, which is essential to every country. But before that, let's look at how well the stock and crypto market is doing. The most famous index fund is the S&P 500. During 7 months, it is down 12%, and I tell you, it is no good, especially for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down 50%, the same value for Ethereum. It is hurting the investors' pockets right now. There are two main reasons for this. The first one is because of COVID-19. The unexpected pandemic came, which made growing economies halted. Not only that, but the worries of the pandemic have caused massive panic selling of stocks, which negatively affected the stock market. This caused inflation, which made the Feds decide to go for increasing interest rates. Interest rates and the stock market are not friends. There were no worries at first, as long as the interest rates were increased partially over time. Then the second reason came, which was Russia versus Ukraine. Russia is known to produce oil. Although it was only between two countries, it has affected the whole world. The main issue was the supply of oil. This became a reason for inflation to rise again. To stop inflation this time, the Fed needs to increase interest rates big time. The sad result will be a recession. The last time the US experienced recession was at the height of COVID-19 pandemic, which only lasted 2 months. However, not increasing rates will possibly result in higher inflation, or worse, hyperinflation. According to a report, if inflation is too much, it can cause a nasty recession. Recessions are needed for inflation to back down. On the good side, the US is not at risk of a recession yet. The only reason the S&P 500 was falling was that the Fed was implementing higher interest rates. If a recession is imminent, it will lose much more. According to Art Hogan, a managing director and chief market strategist, the period of inflation will likely go down in the middle of 2023. Should you invest right now? The answer is yes, and you should invest right now. Remember that the best time to invest is today. But the question is, how? In life, there is nothing that is assured. There will be times when inflation is high or low, and the economy is at its high and low. To know where to invest, you should know these investments. When inflation is high, real estate and gold are best. When inflation is low, you should go for bonds. If the economy is growing, go for stocks and real estate. If the economy is declining, go for bonds. These are the best investments depending on the inflation situation and the economy. Although you would not always know what the problem is, so the best thing you can do is to expand and diversify your portfolio. You should try having each of them so that you will be in a good position at any time. Also, invest in stocks from different countries. Not all countries have the same performance. There will be times when the US is in bad shape, but the other end of the world is thriving fast, like Asia. How should you act in buying opportunities? Of course, you should still leave liquid funds in your bank account. The reason is for you to be able to go for buying opportunities. Have you heard of the saying, buy low, sell high? What are the types of buying opportunities you will go for? When everyone is scared, you should be greedy. A good buy opportunity is when prices crash and everyone is selling. However, you should be mindful and still examine the stocks you would be buying. Do not leave too much cash in your bank accounts though, as liquid cash can also lose value because of inflation. Just as how much inflation has risen over the year, also has decreased the value of your money. You should instead put most of your money towards investments that lose value in the short term, yet gain long term. A good example is to put it in gold, which appreciates value yearly assured. And the last significant piece of advice is not to panic sell. As always, Pennywise is always here when you feel lost on the track. If you want to learn more about finances, consider subscribing by clicking the big red button below and ringing the notification bell to get notified when we upload new videos. Feel free to like and comment your thoughts so we'll know your feedback. Thanks for tuning in and see you again in our next video.